Welcome. I thank y'all for tuning into my channel today. This is the channel of UNCONDITIONAL, where I am a spiritual awakening and life crisis coach. I help you develop awareness where you have toxic habits or thought patterns that are hindering you from reaching your life purpose, from reaching your full potential, whether the patterns be in you or they were developed from an outside source, whether that be relationships or watching too much social media, or however you developed it from an outside source and now has rooted itself within your subconscious, and you have now developed those toxic patterns. I bring awareness to that. So I thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions or any contact information, is listed down below in the description box, where you can get my website and my social media to contact me to schedule coaching calls or to purchase one of my courses that I have developed for you. Thank you, and moving forward. Hey guys, so in today's video we're going to be discussing how to detect and defend yourself against the toxic traits within a relationship, whether the relationship be with yourself or with another being. So we're going to see, first we're going to start off how to detect them, how to detect toxic traits or controlling traits. That is a toxic trait that I'm going to be discussing heavily, is a controlling trait. Trying to control things that are out of your control, which are other people, which are other things, which is the outcome of a situation that is trying to control. That's a narcissistic trait. Controlling traits are also narcissistic traits. Narcissistic traits. So first, how to detect them. So an easy way to detect them is if you are questioning every action and reaction you have with a person at the constraint of your feelings, at the action of your feelings. So let's say if you are questioning every action and reaction you have with someone because you don't want to aggravate someone, you are being mindfucked, honestly. And I do cuss. You are being mindfucked. If you are willing to sacrifice your truth to please another person, you are in truth being mindfucked, because they have controlled your mind at that point. They have altered your emotions to the point where you don't want to hurt them. You don't want to hurt their feelings. You're taking their feelings upon yours. You're putting them over you, which should never be done. It should, if anything, it should be equal. You should see your point first and then compromise to theirs. It should never be them over you. It should be a compromise to see both points. And if in any situation you are at a point where when you try to compromise and you realize they are not willing to compromise, that's when you realize you are dealing with somebody who has control issues, which are toxic issues, which is a toxic energy. And if in yourself you are not willing to see somebody else's point of view, that means you at some point have control issues and you are becoming toxic as well. These are how to become aware. How the easiest way I can help define this to you is if you yourself are willing to hold your tongue, bite your tongue, hold back your truth, because you are in a place where you are, I'm not going to say scared, but fearful of speaking your truth because somebody else will abandon you in a way. That is being in a toxic relationship. You have abandonment. You are fearful of them abandoning you, so you do not speak your truth. You are fearful of them snapping out on you, so you do not speak your truth. That is a toxic trait. That is a toxic thought pattern. They have put fear in you of leaving. They have embedded that fear in your subconscious. They have spoken it to you in your subconscious. They didn't have to say, I'm going to leave you if you keep talking this. No, they didn't have to say that. They had to say, I don't like it when you do this, this, or this. I don't like it when you do this. I hate how your attitude is this. I don't like it. They keep saying, I don't. They tell you what they don't, but they never tell you what they do. That is being mindfucked. Continuously telling you what you're not good at instead of telling you what you are, that is being mindfucked. That is manipulation. Mindfucking is manipulation. I'm sorry. Let me switch up my vocabulary. You are being manipulated. You are being manipulated at that point. That's how you can detect it. When you are always being put down instead of being put up. When you are always being criticized instead of critiqued. There's a difference. Criticize is I see where you are wrong. Critiquing is I see everything, so let me help you. They don't help. They hinder. And that is the easiest way. When you feel like you have to degrade your worth to fit the standard of somebody else for you. When you have to degrade yourself to satisfy another, that is when you are being manipulated. That is the easiest way to become aware of a toxic pattern that you are in, or a toxic cycle that you are in. Now we have talked about how to detect it. Now let's talk about how to defend it, because that is also, well, and I ain't gonna say how to defend it. Let's talk about how it affects you, how it truly affects you. Worrying about how you offend or threaten people by being yourself. How you offend or threaten. You should never offend or threaten somebody by speaking your truth. They have embedded that fear. They have embedded that fear in you that they are offended or they are hurt when you speak up your mind. That is not, for one, you are not in control of somebody else's feelings. That is the first thing. If they get offended, they need to speak that up with themselves. That has nothing to do with you. If they bring that to your attention, you need to ask them, why did you get offended? Why did you feel threatened? Why did you get hurt? Because in all actuality, I ain't gonna say it's not your concern, but that is out of your control. So if you try to control their emotions, that's a narcissistic trait that they are trying to impose upon you. Because in all actuality, if they want you to control their emotions, they are trying to control yours. If they want you to control their emotions, they're trying to control yours. So if they are saying, you make me sad when you do this, well, I shouldn't make you do anything. I shouldn't make you sad. I shouldn't make you feel no emotions. You promote that in yourself. You are responding to my action. That's just a reaction. Reactions come from self. Comprehension comes from self. Clarity comes from self. So if you are reacting a certain way to how I act, that has no control over me. I only have control over how I act and my actions and my reactions. So you need to control your reactions. That is the thing about a narcissist. They have control over everything but themselves. Everything but themselves. That's how a narcissist works. Since they have no control of themselves, they try to inflict control upon you by using fear. So they say, you hurt my feelings when you did this. That's how you're being manipulated. Because now they want you to stop doing that. Because it hurt their feelings. When in all actuality, that made you happy doing that. That helped you speak your truth doing that. So either they're telling you either you're going to sacrifice doing that or you're going to sacrifice our relationship. And that's how you're being manipulated. Because they have put you in a predicament where you have to choose self or them. They have put you in that predicament to either choose self or either to choose them. That is what happened. Continue. It is a side effect of having to deal with a narcissist. It is a side effect. So I'll read it all together for you. Worrying about how you offend or threaten people by just being yourself is a side effect of dealing with a narcissist. That is a side effect. And it's very hindering. It's very blocking. It's very tiring. It's very, very tiring. It's emotionally abusive. That's what a narcissist does. A narcissist is either going to physically abuse you or emotionally abuse you. That's a narcissist. Because they're controlling. They want to use some type of abuse to control. Some type of manipulation to control. And it's very tiring. It's not just tiring for them because they have to put on a mask, but it's tiring for you because you're their victim. Now, let's teach you how to defend yourself. And I have a complete mini course on how to defend yourself. I'm going to go into it, but in my course, I go into detail on how to defend yourself. And it's called my 5-finger discount to self-love. Self-love is how you defend yourself. And I have a 5-finger discount. It's a 50-minute video with a worksheet, and it discusses it for you. And it breaks it down to the point where you can have a comprehension of self and your identity to fight a narcissist. Because the best way to defend a narcissist is to figure out the lie. That is the number one way. A narcissist, they have power using fear. So they wear a mask. Once you see past their mask, or you don't have to see past it, you just have to see they're wearing a mask. Once you see that they are wearing a mask, because that's the only way you can control another person, is to fit that person's idea of perfection, which means you have to put on a mask. That's the only way to truly control another person, is to fit their ideal of perfection. So you have to wear a mask to fit their idea of perfection. So a narcissist, a controlling person, which I'm just referring to as a narcissist, wears a mask to control your emotions. So you see them as a put together person, or you see them as your ideal of perfection. So they wear a mask for you. And the way to fight them or defend yourself against them is to see the mask by having your own identity. See, when you have your own identity and you have a solid foundation of self, you can see past other people's masks because you have worn those same masks yourself. And we all have. I have too. I have been a narcissist at one point in my life. It was for a very short period, but I saw the traits of myself and I wanted to heal that. But at one point I did wear a mask. That's why I can see other people's masks. Because at one point I was a master manipulator. Now I'm a master manipulator of negative energy. I love to battle narcissists. Because I'm so true and raw in myself. And I teach this in my mini course. How to become true and raw in yourself. That I can battle any narcissist. I see past any mask. Because at one point I wore all masks. The masks are all the same. They just have different characteristics. Some may have big eyes, some may have cute eyebrows, some may have pretty lips. But they all have the same intention behind them, which is to control. See, when you have a foundation of self, you would never give your control to another person. That's how you defend yourself. You never give your control away. And once you see past somebody's mask, that's when the battle starts. That's what a narcissist hates. That's the one thing a narcissist hates, is for somebody to see past their mask. Because at that point, you are battling them. If you can battle a narcissist, you can win against a narcissist. Because the hardest part about the battle is awareness. So once you become aware of a mask, you can beat them. But you have to be strong in who you are to actually conquer them. Because they can keep projecting. Think about a narcissist, they will never stop with the mask. They will never take their mask off until you see it. They will never take it off. You have to see them. You have to see it fall. Like, you have to see their face melt, theoretically. Like, you have to, okay, let's say a scenario. Somebody is a controlling person using, okay, for me, my mother was a master manipulator. She manipulated me mentally. She would always tell me what I'm not good at. So once I got my identity of self, I didn't care what she said about what I wasn't good at. So I saw her mask fall when she held me at gunpoint for not closing a window. Because it was, in my mind, I stood up for myself because I love to hear the outside. God talks to me through nature. So I always have the window open. And I realized that is a part of my identity. Nature is a part of my identity. I am very in tune with animals and in tune with the elements. So I stayed with nature. But at that point, I was battling her narcissistic trait of control. She wanted to control me. So since I battled that, I continuously did it. Because I've always stood up for myself in certain things. It's just I always let her control certain little aspects. Because like, oh, I love her and she's doing it for the best or whatever. And I love her, and so I'm gonna surrender to her. I love her, so I'm gonna surrender to her. But then once I started surrendering to myself and loving myself and creating the solid foundation of self, her mental mechanisms stopped working on me. So she had to switch, and that's another thing. You have to prepare yourself for this. And I teach this in my self course as well. When you defend yourself of a narcissist, they will switch tactics. So if you had a physical abuser of a narcissist, they may switch to mental abuse because they realize the physical abuse does not work. I had a mental abuser, so she went to physical abuse. So she held me at gunpoint and tried to get me to close the window. I still did not close the window, but her mask fell. As a mother, she was willing to kill me because I wouldn't close the window. Her mask had fallen. So not just me, but other people seeing her true intentions, seeing her true character. That's what I mean. The mask will fall, but they will never admit. To this day, she has not apologized for that. But it's the mask. The narcissist will never admit it. She has never admitted she's wrong because a narcissist will never admit it. But the mask still fell. And you can't deny that. The mask fell. You can't deny that. The mask had fallen. So, this has been my video. Don't forget, I'm telling y'all, check out the mini course because this is what I teach in this mini course. It's under $100 for you. It's real quick and it's a very lifetime investment. This is an investment to better yourself, to prepare yourself in any battle, because there are many narcissists in this world. Because the thing is about a narcissist, they're so weak. It's usually for every one strong person that is true in themselves and has self-love, there's about 3 narcissists to them. So it's a 3-to-1 ratio in this world for narcissistic people, controlling people, to whole good-hearted people that love themselves. So you must prepare yourself. You must prepare yourself for this mental war. And especially if you want to better yourself and become like an entrepreneur or a business person, or just further yourself in education. There are narcissists in every field, and there's a narcissist in every corner, every nook, cranny in the world. There are narcissists. So you must prepare yourself. Hey, thank you for watching my video, and don't forget, my link to my website is down below, and any contact information is down below. To purchase one of my courses or to schedule a coaching call with me is down below. So don't forget, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Blessings.